final Raw before Survivor Series or WarGames, whatever you want to call it now. It was live from Oklahoma City, and the city was okay. Tensions exploding tag matches with consequences that night, championship implications, surprise injuries, and Brock Lesnar giving us the most unintentional comedic clip of the year. If you know, you know. Let's start with the first segment. War Games! No, I'm kidding. Not War Games, but the opening of a War Games Summit. We start with a cinematic recap package that they usually do, showing how wild War Games can be. And how crazy, according to them, the War Games build has been so far. Drew McIntyre snapping and joining the Vision. Package showing Brock Lesnar coming out of hibernation for, I guess, the second or third time this year at this point. Roman Reigns stepped into Raw ring for the first time in nearly a year. He's been mostly showing up in SmackDown here and there, but now he shows up in Raw. CM Punk planted seeds of distrust, and Cody Rhodes tried and failed to keep the peace, as always. And at this point, Cody Rhodes tries, but he always failing. I think it's an obvious thing that happens. Then we cut live to the arena. Roman Reigns walk out of with a thunderous reaction as always when he shows up every now and then. Tribal Chief energy as always. He does his full acknowledge me catchphrase, the full presentation as always. Only to be interrupted by the one and only American Nightmare, TM. Cody Rhodes. Cody walks straight past Roman, straight into his space, and gives him that look. Cody questions Roman, if this isn't your story, if this isn't your war, what are you even doing here? Roman fires back calmly but sharply as always, telling Cody he has family on his team, men he built and raised inside the bloodline. He's not here for Cody. He's not here for them. Cody nods and says, understood, welcome to my team. Not Roman's team, my team, the American Nightmare team. Roman does not like being welcome like a subordinate, as you know. Then the crowd explodes as CM Punk hits the stage and Cult of Personality hits the speakers. Punk stands between Cody and Roman, as you see, like a man ready to start fist fighting over the last slice of pizza. He drops his catchphrase and tells the crowd to acknowledge this trio. Then Punk digs up the past, as he always does. You remember our history, Roman? I made your life hell once. If you stab me in the back on Saturday, you'll be stabbing your own family. Cody tries to settle Punk down, and Punk snaps. Don't talk to me like it's your show. This is Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Don't forget to say on Netflix at this point. You might be quarterback on Fridays, but on Mondays, I'm the champ. Roman starts smirking, not at Cody, not at Punk, at the chaos forming between them. Then he leaves with one final dagger. He stops, he looks back a little bit, and then he says, there's a title, that title would look good in my shoulder. He says something like that. And he left it ambiguous for a reason. The camera pushes onto Cody and Punk trying to control their egos in a tense, messy, and perfect way to end this kind of War Games, I guess, segment. But basically, Roman trying to make these two question themselves or question the crowd. Who is he going to go for? He said the title looks good. And they said, who are you talking to? And he says, you guys figure that out. So that was the end of that segment. Then we move to the next segment, which is more of a backstage. Like, there were two segments back to back before we got even a match. Backstage, Heyman tries to hype Drew McIntyre up for the advantage match. Logan Paul starts running his mouth about Brock Lesnar. Heyman warns Logan very calmly to stop saying that name. It's one of those smile while threatening your soul Heyman moments. Logan ends up being Drew's partner for tonight's advantage match, which ends up being a tag team for the War Games advantage. And then we finally move to a match, which minutes after Raw started, we get the continuation of the Last Time Is Now tournament between Gunther and Carmelo Hayes. One of the best tournament matches for this whole thing between these two, because Gunther never has bad matches. He never has one. He's always good. So whenever you have a match with him, it's going to be a good one. But now you have a hungry person like Carmelo Hayes, who will make the match even better. So probably the most standout thing in that night on Monday Night Raw, Hayes opened up with pure aggression, chopping, kicking, diving. Gunther responds like he's swatting a mosquito, just tossing Hayes across the ring. Then Hayes hits a perfect counter, a springboard DDT that nearly spikes Gunther into the mat. Gunther answers with a chop that sounds like a shotgun across the arena. Hayes keeps fighting, using his speed, his creativity, and insane timing that he always has since NXT. Between sleeper attempts, tornado DDT off the barricade, La Mística, a running flip dive to Gunther's back, reversing out of the powerbomb repeatedly. The crowd is hanging on in every second of this match, but eventually Hayes gets caught. Gunther smashes him with a decapitating clothesline, heavy elbows to the skull, and the final crushing powerbomb. Gunther moves forward to the tournament. Hayes gets a standing ovation for his performance. Now, based on this and whoever is left, up to this point, it can only be assumed that Gunther is going to be the one that's facing Cena at this point. With me, personally, I was hoping for Carmelo Hayes to go because, trying to put up younger talent. Gunther's already established as far as I can see. But the way people can see it is probably Gunther versus Cena might be a better sell point for the final Cena match, but could be either way. It's Cena's final match. People are going to show up regardless, in my opinion, but we will see how that match ends up once the tournament subsides. Next segment. More drama! Because that's all WWE has in segments at this point. Cody, Punk, and Roman still arguing backstage like divorced parents. The Usos walk in and instantly shift the vibe. Tonight's match is a tag match, and we're the greatest tag team of all time. Problem solved. So, it's going to be Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre versus the Usos for the advantage match. So, the problem is solved, according to the Usos. Roman tells Cody and Punk to fix this and walks away because he doesn't want his people to get hurt. Which is ironic because he didn't want to talk to them back at SummerSlam until, what was it, Christmas dinner or was it Thanksgiving dinner? And now he's all protective, but it is what it is. Next segment. Dominik Mysterio. Dominik Mysterio. I love him, but this thing was kind of a little reverting back to a Vince McMahon era type of segment, given that who showed up during this segment. Dominik comes out bragging that he'll end John Cena's career at Survivor Series. See, Christmas. Exactly, Chief Mako. It was Christmas. Roman, why are you protecting your siblings if you say you wouldn't want to deal with them or talk to them about Christmas? But whatever. It is what it is. Dominik comes out bragging that he'll end John Cena's career at Survivor Series, even though he has one date left. Crowd, as always, hating him, booing him, chanting, raining down. And then Cena's theme hit. Now, me watching this, I'm like, I mean, at this point of the year, we already know how many dates he has left. Back maybe in February, we could have been questioning, wait, how many dates? 14, 15? But we literally know he has 2 dates left. It's definitely not Cena. If it is, we need to know that. But it was, does that mean he got a renewal or nothing rules? So, nope, Cena stuck to his guns. It wasn't Cena. But it turns out to be a mini Santa or whatever, mini Cena with just his small gear and everything. What's going on? And he has his Cena hats, shorts, everything, but miniature size. I don't know how to. I'm just gonna say mini Cena. That's it. Mini Cena comes up, and you hear Wade Barrett being Wade Barrett saying, "Oh, it's John Cena." Trying to make a joke, but okay, John Cena. So it's Mini Cena, John Cena. You guys pick and choose how you want to label it as. So Mini Cena fails to slide under the rope and climbs up in awkwardly like a toddler into the arena. Crowd is losing it. Dominik basically confronts him. Mini Cena does his little speak, and all of a sudden you see Dominik beat up Mini Cena, hits him with a mini shuffle, mini 619, mini frog splash, until Rey Mysterio runs out and chases him off the arena, and the end of that segment. A little more heat before the pay-per-view. Good way to do it without Cena showing up and get the crowd more excited for this match on Saturday. So afterwards, we have Rey Mysterio versus JD McDonough. Another person, by the way, that is having good matches. JD McDonough been leveling up himself every now and then, so he's been good. Classic veteran versus rising star type of match. JD dominates early with technical wrestling. Rey fires back with his seated senton, head kicks, and a baseball slide, and near falls that pops the crowd here and there. JD hits a huge Spanish fly and nearly wins. Balor, as always, and typical Judgment Day fashion, tries to interfere, but Rey sends JD flying into him, 619 to a springboard splash, and Rey wins. Solid momentum boost for everyone, but unfortunately none of them are going to Survivor Series, so maybe a momentum for the next story after Survivor Series. So we will just have to wait and see. As always, more backstage chaos, fast, like Pierce. Ants dealing with people left and right, second after second, because there were so many things that happened in this segment between a Pierce talking to Raquel that she has a women's title picture in the future, then New Day getting tag titles the following Monday Night Raw, which is tomorrow, and Grayson Waller giving Pierce a wig for no reason. But okay. Brock Lesnar arrives backstage and the crowd pops huge. Everything happened real quick in this segment. Next, women's WarGames brawl. Becky Lynch storms to the ring with pure rage. She rants about last week's title screw job, warns AJ Lee she made a fatal mistake, and hyped her WarGames team as the greatest team in WWE history. Oh shit. AJ Lee interrupts and comes with her own fire. And this is probably one of the classic AJ Lee type of rants that I love and I miss from most of the talent nowadays. It fits her. It doesn't feel out of place for her character, and it just worked. She just said, "I don't bark like you, Becky. I bite." Simple, straightforward, scare the shit out of anyone there. Rhea Ripley pretty much said screw everything and started brawling. Full scale brawl. IYOSKY climbs the turnbuckle, huge moonsault. Becky backs away, regrouping, and it was the perfect chaotic type of segment that you need to hype up the women's WarGames match more and more, because barely any storyline tied to this, so you need to hype it up somehow. Penta and Solo had a last time it's now's match. Whoever wins advances and goes against Gunther the following week. Unfortunately, Penta hits a diving hurricanrana and lands horribly on his shoulder and neck. And they went into commercial or something, and the match immediately stops. Solo advances due to stoppage and because Penta could no longer go. They did say that Penta was trying to push to continue, because if you guys don't know, Penta has said in an interview, I think it was in the Sheamus workout videos on YouTube that he invites wrestlers to work out with, he stated that his muscle is ripped in one of his arms and he still makes able to go. He's never got it surgically repaired and anything. So he's used to dealing with pain, and he wanted to continue this match, but the WWE officials said, no, you can't continue. And it's something that Penta needs to get used to when it comes to WWE. So they stopped the match, and yeah, it was a scary moment, but Solo is continuing. He's probably good momentum for him to continue since he has his Survivor Series match on Friday. So it was good. But anyway. Yeah, Penta keeps getting the short end of the stick, but his health needs to be priority because if he wants to do higher spots, he's going to need to be able to sustain much longer, but we'll see. Mysterious tease was given between commercials with lip gloss, it looks like, and it says 4 days. So similar tease that they did with the men's when they were going to advertise the tickets going on sale for WrestleMania 42 the first time, with the men showing up at a a blackjack table or a poker table to promote WrestleMania. So same tease, but now they're doing it with the women. So it was obvious from this segment we won't get it until, I think it was until Friday that we got it. So graphic pop-up 4 days with the text that is similar to the WrestleMania branding. So you know something is showing up around Friday or Survivor Series. And then Usos main event versus Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre for the WarGames Advantage match on Saturday. Logan pretty much gets isolated early in the match. Jay lands running splashes on both heels. Drew hits suplexes like the ring owes him money throughout this whole match. Logan uses sneaky tactics to trap Jimmy. Ringside becomes chaos as Division eventually rushes down to the match, and Cody and Punk also runs out to even out the odds. Jay hits a massive over-the-top dive onto everyone. Logan Paul sneaks in the roll-up on Jimmy, and Logan and Drew wins the advantage. Not shocking for the heels. Always tend to get it nowadays, but that's what we get. We get a massive brawl out. Roman hits the ring like the final boss with Brock Lesnar, Superman punches, spears, chaos everywhere. When Brock hits the stage, that's when he does his thing. He does his typical taunt when he comes out. He tries this, does a little yelp, and he slips on the stage. I didn't see water there. I don't know what happened. Maybe he stepped on something slippery before he came out in the gorilla position, that it stayed on his foot until he hit the metal of the stage. But it was very clear that it wasn't the flat area of the stage. He landed that slip on the angled part that transitions from the higher position of the stage after the gorilla position to the running path to the ring. He slips on that. It might be because it was uneven and he wasn't used to that he slips. Because he's usually, I don't think he does, obviously hasn't done many shows this year that he noticed that the arena, the Titantron and everything has a different setup now. It's not big anymore, so his steps to the position that he should do, maybe he has to shorten it. So his foot landed on an angled piece, so he probably slipped because of that. But beautifully, he was able to roll back and pop up quickly. He didn't land hurtfully, and he didn't stay there prolonged. He was able to roll and quickly react to that situation. So good for him on doing that. Very happy moment for me because it was a nice. It's a memeable moment. Yeah, meme of the week, best meme of the week. People ended up doing like Sub-Zero memes that Sub-Zero puts ice on the floor for him to slip. Many things happened, but it was funny as hell. Yeah. Yep. Right. You say funny as hell. But yeah, he slips, falls backwards, and rolls over like he was taken out by the blue shell in Mario Kart. Crowd gas, then laughs. He then cheer. He pops up furious and storms into a ring. Full scale brawl. Roman, Brock, Cody, Drew, Punk, Logan, everyone fighting. NYPD not showing up this time, but it's their version of security for that location. It's like it's either NYPD showed up at they went from MSG to this arena, or they need to really replace the outfits. But anyway, the security showed up. Roman spears Bronson through the barricade once again. The camera zooms out, and absolute destruction as Raw goes off the air. It was a decent way to the best way possible, with barely any storyline for this WarGames, for all the matches at this point. It's probably the strongest go home for what they have in the cards to deal with, literally. So, it was a decent Raw. It was good. A lot of big promos, a lot of heavy match qualities in some of the stuff, a lot of tension, and brawls. What and nothing else you can see. I mean, every time you have Survivor Series, there's always going to be brawls ending up in part of the go home show. So, anyway, guys, what do you think of Raw? Drop your thoughts. Does Team Cody win WarGames, or who you think is going to win, even though we obviously know? Hit the like, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks.